Okay, I call this one the people you learned the most from are side eyeing you. Okay, now I know that this is a broad remark, this is a pretty general statement. So, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this and we're going to make sense of this take, all right? So, before we get to why people who you learn the most from would side eye you, well, it depends on what you're learning, who's teaching it, and understand that psychology and mental health is like a different playing field than cooking or building a house, right? So it comes down to experiences. So we all know that there's a lot of different ways you can learn. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from getting slapped up the head. You can learn from being lied to. You can learn from getting hurt. You can learn from failing a test, losing a friend, a breakup. You can learn simply from caring enough and showing effort. So then again, you can learn from being taught, and that's when we get into things like hands-on, like welding, fixing vehicles, cooking, so on. So I don't want to sound like that guy. I really don't, because I'm not a know-it-all at all. I definitely don't know everything. But I was never really taught anything. Now, I can recall when I was 14 and my dad actually taught me about electrician work. He actually taught me, about the wiring and all that. And that's when I was actually taught something. You know, Everything else, though, I was basically just shown, you know? So I had a friend one time who told me, yeah, man, you got to have patience and discipline. You got to have patience and discipline. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And not only did he tell me that, he showed me it. And the proof was in the pudding. He had patience and discipline. We both had vehicles, but there's a reason why your buddy's vehicle running a little better than yours. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the patience and the discipline at that time to go get that oil change, to go get his brake pads fixed. You get what I'm saying? And then not only that, another scenario I recall is a stranger who not taught you, didn't show you, but made you aware. And that's something that comes down to comprehension, is something that only you can have the ability to choose to have, is awareness. So it really comes down to things like, did you learn, or were you just being reminded? Okay? So another experience is like college, you know what I'm saying, and teachers. And, following like a curriculum. And, I didn't learn from that too. And, my career as a grocery manager, I didn't learn from that. Despite them, making it seem like they taught you something. No, it's up to you, and whether you have to care. It's up to you to care, to further yourself. Either you give a shit or you don't. And that's what it comes down to. So now let's get into the actual vid, all right? Let's get into the point. Side-eyeing, okay? Now I got 6 points written down. Looking to see what you're going to do with that phase of learning period that involved them, and what else you will be able to expand that into. Number one, because they may not be able to expand what they were teaching and what you were able to comprehend into another area that you're capable of doing. So adding a capability, they may not have access to it, all right? And this could be a simple example. This could be very simple. You could be someone who is just right now learning how to cook. You never even touched a stove. You never even cooked before. And now you're working at this restaurant and you got a chef there who knows the ins and outs. You get what I'm saying? Not knowing that eventually, it only took maybe not even a month to realize that you really had it in you the whole time. Now you're doing everything the chef is doing. And not only that, and it's not that you're like, it's just the fact that there's other areas you can now expand what you, and it happened to be that person there that person happened to be the person you were with, while you were really seeing that you had it in you the whole time. So this person, depending on who they are, may end up side-eyeing you because they see that there's other things you can do with that they may not be able to do. So number two, depends. You may have been forced to be in this class, Or this person you learn from never asked you to show up to the class or sit in the desk to be able to fully comprehend in a short span of time and expand this into other areas in the first place. It's not their fault. Okay, and we'll get to that on another part. It's not their fault because they were just doing what they were doing. It was you who decided to care and to see what it was about and comprehend and learn from, being in this class, choosing to be there. Number 3. So what that means, and back to number 2, is that this person may not like or care about the fact that you're trying to add it on to whatever else it is that you like to do, right? That may cause side-eyeing because they believe they did play a role in you getting to where you are right now, Number 3, side-eyeing to see if you'll act like you didn't learn it from this person. And that's completely understandable, and that could be aggravating, and it could definitely make someone side-eye. It feels like energy theft a little bit, but remember, depends on the situation, Now, number 4, making the learning teaching scenario unnecessarily competitive. And it could turn into this type of energy because then again, remember that side-eyeing and is not acting out as support. Side-eyeing and support, two completely different things. Now, side-eyeing isn't a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a good thing either. It's just something where it's like, okay, I see you. I kind of like that, but it's not like I'm really agreeing with the way you're, going about that. And hold on here, I just missed my, here we are. Number 5, seeing if this person will act a fool or do something stupid by turning their back on them. Betrayal. And, because sadly, wise people know that the people you learn the most from may not like you because of that experience. A lot of people I learned the most from or learned a lesson from, it wasn't on some peaches and cream stuff. Let's put it that way. And number 6, simply jealous, envious, side-eyeing to indirectly cast doubt on what you're doing because they can see that you're capable of doing something that you may not even be able to see yet. And you better believe that if this person were to see this or do this, it could cause tension and unnecessary situations like, competition and just unnecessary drama. So, summary. Reason someone would side-eye instead of show support is because that they either don't agree with the extra activities that you're doing that you learned, may feel like they were used, jealous, envious, and doesn't have the access and capabilities this person has to expand what they learned because now they can both comprehend what was learned or taught. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.